So welcome officially. We will start today with our presentation about our open call, our current open call on industrial challenges. I'm Dimitra Paparidou and I'm part of Jax's team and agROBOfood team. I am the dissemination leader, and Dragana Petkovic is the open call leader, and she will share with us all the information that we will need to apply. Anything you want, you can post in our chat, any questions that you may have, and we will have a Q&A session by the end of the presentation. Please try to keep your microphones off to avoid any distraction from the noise. And thank you very much. Dragana, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dimitra. Hello, everyone. It's lovely to see you. We have a lot of participants today, 36 from what I can see. And I hope that we will be able to interest you into this funding opportunity that we have. So I will just share my screen now. Okay. So welcome once again from me. My name is Dragana Petkovic, and I'm a project manager in Biosense Institute, and we are leading the open calls within the agROBOfood project. So firstly, about the agROBOfood vision and project itself. So it's a Horizon 2020 funded project that has 38 different partners within the consortium. And the vision and the goal of this project is to establish and expand a pan-European network of digital innovation hubs. For us, digital innovation hubs that we have almost 90 in our network for now are very important in terms of stimulating the implementation of these high-tech robotic concepts. We're working in the agri-food sector, we're working in the robotics industry, and of course, we want to demonstrate the applicability of these solutions under practical circumstances. So from our point of view, digital innovation hubs are important because they present the gravitational centers in all over Europe that are one-stop shops offering different types of services in terms of ecosystem building, in terms of business support, in terms of technical support. So the experiments and the challenges that agROBOfood wants to fund and support are highly innovative. They also often have a cross-border element with them, and they stimulate the cooperation between different actors in the industry. We want to foster the growth of the ecosystem. We want to engage new digital innovation hubs and competence centers, and of course, connect them to small and medium enterprises. So our open calls are actually a mechanism for us to fund and support innovative solutions and also bring digital innovation hubs and their services closer to you. So within agROBOfood, we have 3 open calls. One was realized recently. We have funded 6 innovative projects, 6 consortia. Actually, we have an open call running now. This is the Industrial Challenges open call that you will receive more information about today. And we will have another one, an open call for innovation experiments coming in February next year. So stay tuned because these funding opportunities are very interesting and there will be chances for you to receive funding for innovative solutions. So the Industrial Challenges open call was opened in October 2020 and the deadline for it is January 2021. We will be funding 8 to 10 projects within this open call, and the total amount per project is up to 300,000 euros. So eligible applicants are European SMEs in agri-food and robotics. And this time, in this open call, individual applicants can apply. So we're looking for 1 SME per proposal. This is the timeline of the open call. So the call ends on the January 20th. Then we're moving on to selection and contracting in April. And then implementation of these projects will be running for 17 months. So from May next year to September 2022. we're looking for single applicants who will be addressing the challenges that I will present to you shortly. Of course, it's robotic technology, but this time we also have a complementary component related to socio-economical and environmental aspects as well. And these solutions, of course, need to be business-oriented. So, to introduce a clarification on what we see as eligible applicants as SMEs and the definition, so we have applied, of course, the recommendation of the European Commission, and here we have independent, partner, or linked enterprises. We have headcount unit in annual work, headcount in annual work unit less than 500 people. So we also have an annual turnover less or equal to 100 million. There is a list of associated countries defined in Horizon 2020 rules that you can take a look at. And of course, besides those countries, EU member states, SMEs from EU member states are welcome to apply. So our industrial challenges were defined as in deep cooperation with our industrial advisory board. So we have large industry players and their representatives within the board who have defined challenges that are the most pressing ones for the industry. And we are looking for SMEs who will be delivering those solutions. So the Industrial Advisory Board has set the criteria for this open call and has also set the industrial challenges themselves. So each challenge that we have, and we have 5, is composed of a technical component, which of course is a development or improvement of existing robotic technology solutions, and then a complementary component, which has been defined as very important as well by our Industrial Advisory Board. So here we have a socioeconomic analysis or an assessment of some complementary social, economic, environmental, and of course ethical aspects of the proposed solutions. So all interested applicants must address the full challenge as it is defined. And now let's go deeper into the challenges themselves. So we have 5 challenges. And the first one is related to spot spraying. So can optimized spraying lead to improved environmental conditions? So here we're looking at a development or an improvement of a robotic solution for spot spraying, and then a complementary component related to analysis of environmental benefits of spot spraying, of course, if it's compared to existing options and some alternative growing possibilities. The second industrial challenge is related to robots for logistics, picking, packing, and palletizing. Here we have the question of, can robots improve working conditions in the labor force in the fresh and processed food industry? And we have an analysis of the impact that robotics in this field have on the reduction of labor force or generation of new job opportunities. The third industrial challenge is related to robots for livestock feeding. So, are these robots posing ethical challenges by replacing human labor with machines? Development of robotic solution for livestock feeding, and of course then the analysis of these ethical challenges. The fourth industrial challenge is related to selective harvesting. So what added value can harvesting robots bring compared to existing machinery solutions? And here we have, of course, the development of robots or improvement of robots for selective harvesting, and this analysis related to the benefits compared to already existing agricultural machinery. And the fifth challenge is, what new business opportunities do robots for cleaning livestock farms bring? Robots for cleaning, of course, and then analysis and projections of new business models that include service-based business models. So we are looking for SMEs whose idea will address the topic and the challenge in full, show technical excellence, and here we're talking about solutions that have a starting point, TRL level of 5 or 6, and through the implementation of the project may reach 8 or 9. So we're looking to mature the levels, the TRL levels, and of course the solutions. A viable business model must be present and of course well explained within the project proposal. Sustainability impact, needs to be proven as well. And of course, we're looking for competent partners that can implement the projects and that they can prove within the proposals as well that they have sufficient industry experience and that they have competences and resources to implement this idea. So our application process is run through our website where you can register. On our website, you can find, of course, all the key documents that are important for you. An important part of this open call and also a part of implementation of the project is the coordination, the cooperation with the digital innovation hubs. So the project proposal, your project proposal can be developed and together with the digital innovation hub. So you need to have a contact with digital innovation hub representatives and looking through an initial working plan of how you would be implementing your solution. You can, of course, define your proposal. You can submit all necessary documents. The deadline is, as I've said, the 28th of January. In terms of cooperation with digital innovation hubs, I would like to invite you to take a look at our webpage to contact your regional cluster leader. We have 7 regions within agROBOfood. Each region has a cluster leader, and they are actually connected to digital innovation hubs in that region. So in the first stage, in the project proposal stage, we request for SMEs to have a communication and connection with digital innovation hub, to also name in the proposal who are they connected to. You will also be listing the services that you will need from digital innovation hubs for the implementation of your project. Representatives of hubs can give you feedback and support on your template and your project proposal. You can develop the initial work plan and approach for testing, prototyping, and demonstrating the products. And then when we come into the project implementation stage, the selected projects will, of course, receive services from digital innovation hubs. They will have a mentor DIH to support them to monitor the implementation and reporting. And in the first phase of the implementation, you will jointly develop a detailed work plan together with Digital Innovation Hub. If the DIH is not a part of the core agROBOfood consortium, they can also be subcontracted within this open call. These are the most important documents for you, and they are all present on our webpage. The guide for applicants is recently updated, so you have the newest version online where you can have a look at all the necessary criteria and the scoring and everything that is in relation to your proposal. There is a template, of course, that needs to be filled in, an SME declaration of honor, our data privacy policy, a form for bank account information. So you can find all of these documents on our webpage. In terms of the selection process, this is how it looks. So we have a 2-stage selection process. In the first stage, the project proposals will be evaluated remotely by independent evaluators who have expertise in robotics, agriculture, and business. So each proposal will be reviewed by 3 separate evaluators. Then, according to the top list that is made, we will have shortlisted 16 applicants who are moving on to the second stage, where we will have interviews with independent evaluators and our industry advisory board members as well. And then after this, we have the final list, and then we move on, of course, with contracting. In terms of the implementation of the challenges, we have 3 phases. The first one is related to the design. So you will have 3 months to design this work plan of activities and resources jointly with Digital Innovation Hub. Moving on, then we have the development, where actually through 8 months, all the technical development and the analysis and assessments are performed and the work plan is realized. And then the 6 months after that is dedicated to the market. So exploitation of the results, achievements, demonstration of the solution, different events, contacts with investors and partners. And according to these three phases, actually the funding is also dispersed. So 30% of funding is released upon successful delivery of the work plan and the deliverable after the first 3 months of the design phase. Then we have 40% of funding released after the second phase, and then another 30 released after the third phase. All information, of course, can be found here on this link, so you can have a look. And of course, you can write to me, you can contact me anytime with any questions you might have. And of course, I will invite you once more to be in contact with the regional cluster leader, because they can also provide many answers to you, especially related to some specific robotic questions and technology questions that you might have. These are our partners from the agROBOfood Consortium. And this is all from me for now, and I'm looking forward to answering the questions.
Thank you, Dragana. So we have started a few questions. One of the first ones is if there is an expected level of TRL to enter the project,
Yes.
or for the submission.
Yes, so in the project proposal template, you will be required to explain what is the starting TRL level and what is the target TRL level. So having in mind that we have 17 months for the implementation of project and that we would like to fund a TRL solutions of higher levels, our expectation is that projects entering into this will probably start with a TRL level of at least 5. Probably 6, and then targeting 8 or 9 by the end of the implementation of the project.
Another question that we have received is, besides the 3 deliverables defined in the template, should include additional deliverables?
Mm-hmm. So the template defines 3 deliverables, and these are the ones that are key. You don't need to include additional deliverables. So this is not mandatory. You can stay with the 3 that are defined. And of course, upon contracting and starting the implementation, both in cooperation with us and in cooperation with the Digital Innovation Hub that will be assigned to you as mentor, you will receive all the necessary documents related to the reporting and the forms for the deliverables. So then all the deliverables that you do deliver will be able to be put to be formed within these template. So there is no need to define more than 3, but you can if you find it easier for you.
Thank you very much for that. And the next question is, if the selection process starts in April or it starts after the deadline in January?
Yes, so the selection process starts after the deadline in January. Of course, due to the large number of applications that we receive and the number of evaluators that we engage, it takes time to go through the 2 stages. So it will start after the end of the after the deadline, of course, but the contracting will be happening for the funded projects in April.
Is there any restriction in the amount devoted for?
I didn't hear you well, but I suppose
Okay.
is any restriction in the amount devoted for subcontracting? Yes. So there is a restriction. The restriction is 25% of the overall budget. So 25% max can be devoted to subcontracting. But have in mind that it's important that the subcontracting part is very well justified. So the evaluators will be looking at value for money. They will be looking at what you are actually subcontracting. Here we need to also follow the rules of Horizon 2020 and the European Commission. So we're looking at, of course, not subcontracting main core activities and management of the project. This is not allowed. But any type of organization, as long as it's not a part of our consortium and not already funded by agROBOfood, can be subcontracted. And this is all explained in our guide for applicants as well. So 25% is the maximum amount that can be assigned for subcontracting.
It's very important what you said, Dragana, so that people, participants will have to go through the guidelines very carefully because all the information is there. And please go through the guidelines from the Commission that we have included to better understand how the projects will be then evaluated. As Dragana said, for example, if somebody chooses to put subcontracting the coordination of the project, that is not something that will be evaluated positively. So another question that we have received is if a consortium is required or preferred, or one SME alone is okay. And maybe I can answer that for you, Dragana. This call is exclusively for single applicants, single SMEs. So we're not looking for consortia, we are looking for standalone SMEs.
Yes.
Okay, so, and do you want to add something to that? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I didn't. You explained it perfectly. So individual applicants this time, and for the call that we are opening in February, we will be looking at consortia again. So this call is for individual applicants only.
And the next question we have received is if we can clarify which are the thresholds to be taken into account for the eligibility criteria to define the SMEs. In the guide, it is indicated from the European Commission recommendation that the head count in annual work unit should be less than 500, and that the annual turnover less or equal to 100 million. Which are different ones from the ones in the regulation above. So
yes, so we have decided to broaden this criteria a bit, and we have received approval from our project officer. So we are actually using a definition of slightly bigger SMEs, which was introduced by one of the networks of agri-food robotics within Horizon 2020. So this is why this is raised. So slightly bigger SMEs can also apply, and this is defined also in our guide for applicants. So you can follow those. Criteria as defined there. So they are slightly larger.
We're receiving very, very nice questions and very to the point, I think, today. So another one that we have is if during the implementation process, do the selected participants need to join the regional digital hub physically? So this would go to the regional digital hub.
I'm just trying to see the. I'm just sorry, looking again with the question for the questions. So, I'm sorry, Dimitri, I can't find the question here in the chat. If you might just repeat it once more, I didn't understand.
Yes, of course. So one of the participants is asking if during the implementation, so if the proposal is successful and they are one of the SMEs that have the project, they should join the regional digital innovation hub physically. So if they should go there to get the services or anything that they need.
Well, this is, we will be, of course, assigning digital innovation hubs who are geographically close to the project selected. There, if the need arises, of course, for some travel, when travel starts being okay again, yes, this is, of course, fine. So some services you might need to have to be physically present and cooperate with the digital innovation hub. But we will be, of course, in terms of different services that you might need, some digital innovation hubs that are near to you might not be able to provide them. So you might have to go to another digital innovation hub. And of course, this might include some travel. And this might include spending some time there to receive the services. So this all, of course, depends on the types of services you need and if the near digital innovation hubs can provide those. So travel can be included. So in the budget as well, you can include the travel costs and spending some time there if it's needed physically to be present in certain digital innovation hub, but this is not mandatory. It of course depends on every individual situation that we have.
Perfect. And a question that goes with that: if the DIA services are mandatory for the participants?
Well, the connection with the DIA is mandatory. We would like to have explained the services that you might need in terms of if it's technical development or some sort of testing or prototyping, if it's help related to the demonstration of your product, to marketing or promotional activities, maybe if it's support in networking and finding partners and new investors. So there are different services related to technical, to business aspects, and ecosystem aspects, education as well, that can be offered to you by the Digital Innovation Hub. So it's important to explain the services that you will need that can be provided by them. And they are mandatory. Well, I can't say this is mandatory in terms of like, yeah, you need to use a certain service even if you don't need it. No, of course not. But I'm pretty sure that you can find both in our catalog online on the agROBOfood website and that you can find services that you can benefit from. And that your project proposal, that the solution that you are doing can benefit from these services. And this is present in agROBOfood because one of our goals, of course, is to strengthen the connection of digital innovation hubs and SMEs as well. So this is why this connection and this type of cooperation is mandatory within this open call.
Okay. About the subcontracting, again, we had another question, and the participant says that all the development that they are doing is made by subcontracting, and if they can keep it the same way.
So all the technical development, if I understood correctly.
This is my understanding too, but if there is anything that we don't understand, maybe we can clarify that in the chat.
Yes, please clarify, because I'm not sure. So
yes,
let's see if the subcontract if this solution, this technical solution that you are improving, developing, making a new one, is the core part of your project proposal. I would logically think that it can't be subcontracted because this is your core business. This is what you do. This is what you manage. This is what you sell. And I'm not sure if then 25%, which is the maximum amount of subcontracting, would be sufficient in the budget. So this is how I can interpret the answer to the question.
It's about building the robot that have a verification. So obviously,
yeah, you can of course subcontract certain parts, but if the full development and building of the robot is subcontracting, then you are not the company that we want to fund. We would then rather fund the company who develops the robot. I mean, this is how I would interpret this. But if you have more information to share or clarify, you can always write on our email as well. So we will then go more into that, because I might not be fully comprehending the question now. So I don't want to give a wrong answer or mislead you. So do clarify or contact us. We're here to answer.
Okay, and another question that we have received is if IoT technologies are considered as robotic ones.
Well, of course it depends. So we define robotics broadly. So it's not really defined with some exact borders. So we expect that robotics have to do with automated processes, and that we have, of course, sensing, we have intelligence, but there's also an actuator involved. So if robots are only used for monitoring and there is no actuator part, then the robot has to find the way or navigate in a more complex environment. So let's see what we might consider, what we do consider as robots. So if Internet of Things, if IoT solutions can fit in terms of, okay, we are having an actuator. Let's say, for example, we have vision-based actuation of weeding implements or spot sprayers. That's considered a robotic solution. So even when, let's say, the tractor that's holding this contains an operator, this can be considered robotics. But then again, what we don't consider robotics, if the only added value in the sensor or data interpretation in, for example, management system, air drone, does not contribute to actually automated actuation. So that's not a novel robotic solution. But with this as well, I would also like to invite you to write to your regional cluster leaders and send an email to us so that we can go more into depth, because Internet of Things, it's rather broad and we can't really give an answer now what is exactly a robotic solution or what isn't within this.
So another question that we have received asks, 25% for subcontractors include DIH's subcontracting.
Yes, so DIHs can be subcontracted as well, as long as they are not part of our core consortium. So some of the digital innovation hubs are already part. They already have budgets within agROBOfood to deliver services to SMEs, and they can't be subcontracted. But others can. Others can be. And you can take a look at our consortium on our website, and also on Cordis, the European Commission website, where in agROBOfood all the members are listed. So you can know which digital innovation hubs can't be subcontracted.
We have received another question about the TRL level of the project, so I'm going to quickly answer that one on what we said earlier. So we are expecting that projects entering the agROBOfood open call are between 5 and 6, and they are targeting for a TRL level 8 or 9 in the time frame that we are providing for them to further develop their solution. So another question is, could the SME belong to agri-sector and include in the application the robotic provider as subcontractor?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, two different. One is agri and the other is robotic.
Mm-hmm. This would probably be more suitable for our innovation experiments that actually have that need to have consortium where end user needs to be present, technological provider needs to be present as well. In the industrial challenges, the core, the very core of the challenge is actually the development of this solution. So if you are an SME that works in an agri sector and only subcontracting the robotic provider, this would then need to be very well explained and justified in terms of course, the business plan, in terms of the market that you tend to address. So I would say that most probably only subcontracting here will not be justifiable enough, because then the team or the company that is actually developing the robotic solution is not a part of your company. So the question, of course, is what is exactly that you are proposing to develop and to do here, and what would then be your role, and what would then be the role of the subcontractor. So this is another rather complicated question. My initial response would be probably not, but then again, if you believe that this is something that is very valuable and that can be developed in a way it needs to be funded here, you can also send the question to us, and then or to a regional cluster leader, and then maybe we can go into depth and see if this is something that is really suited for the industrial challenges, or maybe for the next call, or maybe for some other call that you can apply to.
There's a second part in the question which asks if it should be demonstrated that they already, I mean, the agri SME already uses robotic in its activities, or is it possible to show that after they get funding? But I think, as you mentioned, it would be better if we could iron out the details of the specific case, and then proceed with any other questions. So for the participant that sent us that question, please do send an email to your regional cluster leader. All contact details are available in our site. Or if you have any trouble, just drop a line to info@agROBOfood.eu, and we will make sure to answer any further questions. So for the technical component of Challenge 2, robots for logistics, picking, packing, and palletizing, does the deliverable need to address all three: logistics, picking, packing, and palletizing, or is one of them enough?
No, this challenge addresses the three, but of course one of those is you can focus on one of those.
So how must we prove the relationship with the DAH of our country is one question that we have received.
Yes, so for now, for us in the project proposal template, you will just need to enter who have you been in contact with. So who is the DAH and who is the representative, and the email of this representative in the project template. So for now, for us, this is enough proof that you are in contact.
Okay. Another question is how many services of the DAHs must the participant choose? And maybe I can help with that. Because there is no obligation for a specific number. As Dragana mentioned earlier, it is very important to choose for services that we think that will help you further improve your work. They will help you with things that you cannot find. So make sure to choose the services that they are the best fit for you. I don't know if you want to add up something on that.
Yeah, there is no mandatory number of services that you have to select. Select those that you find most, that you have the biggest need for, and that would benefit most for the implementation of the project that you're proposing.
Okay, and a follow-up question was the DAH services, if they are available. So I can probably answer that and say yes, they are on our site. But this is just an initial catalog, so that you can get a sense of what we are doing. As we go through, we will be able to provide you more details about the services and the catalog. So initially, yes, you can find it in our sites. So another question is, can you confirm that one SME located in the overseas countries or in the associated countries is eligible to participate?
So the countries that SMEs come from that are eligible to participate are all written in our guide for applicants. So, of course, the EU member states and then the additional states defined by the Horizon 2020. So you have the full list and you can take a look and see which exact countries fit into the eligibility criteria, because there's a lot. There's like a paragraph this big, so you can take a look in the guide for applicants.
In phase 3 market, is there any further development, optimization, or testing possible, or all the development should be fully concluded in phase 2?
Mm-hmm. So, well, our initial idea and the work plan that you will be delivering should, of course, said that within the implementation part of and the performance of work, most of the development or all should be developed, because we are looking for the next phase of 3 months to actually have to go to market. So demonstrate, promote the solution, find partners, find possible investors, of course, find customers. So it would be best that all the work is actually done within the second phase, and then the third phase that lasts for only 3 months is actually left for you to do the work related to your market strategy and sales.
Perfect. Thank you, Dragana. I think we have one last question, at least from what I can see in the chat, but if you want, please do send us other questions that you have. So the question is, if an Israeli company can collaborating with the Spanish can collaborate with the Spanish DIH in case of having the principal market in Spain?
Yes, I think that this is fine. So an Israeli company can collaborate with the Spanish DIH. Of course, you need to explain this well within your proposal. I mean, especially if you're looking to expand or go to the Spanish market, of course, this kind of connection is beneficial.
Any other questions in our chat?
Yes, so Farzam suggested that we can differentiate, and I think this is good that we differentiate between what is subcontracting versus procurement of equipment. So you will see in the project proposal template in the budget section that you have different eligible costs. And also in the guide for applicants, the costs are explained. Here, within the equipment, so you can buy equipment and the depreciation costs are only eligible. And then subcontracting, of course, is related to subcontracting for different services that you can't as a company perform by yourself, so that you really do need help. And this makes sense in terms of value for money. And of course, that is free of any conflict of interest.
Perfect. So I think, I don't know if you want to, we have a couple of minutes for other questions. I think that we will finish earlier than anticipated, but if you have any other questions, please do share them with us. I don't know, Dragana, if you want to add something or to say something to our participants.
Yes. Yeah, I would just like to, because Eric, our network coordinator in agROBOfood, has entered a comment that is really important, and I would like to also share it with you. That really, within when writing the proposal, keep in mind that your project needs to be connected to the digital innovation hubs to help grow and build our network. So if you don't interact with agROBOfood, then there is no need for the network, and you also do not need the funding in a way. So the key is to engage really with this network and explain the way you are engaged with digital innovation hubs within your proposal. So this is why I'm also always repeating, connect with your regional cluster leaders, connect with digital innovation hubs, make these relationships work. and created this project proposal template with this in mind, because it will have greater chances of succeeding. Yes, we have. Yeah, I really
One
need
last question. Yeah, it's about again if it's possible to continue the testing in phase 3 because the timing is too short.
Yeah, so this is something that I already mentioned, that we would of course expect that everything is done, but testing of a product or a solution that's implemented, I believe can also be in a way moved to phase 3, because testing is done and can be done in contact with possible customers and partners. So in a way, testing can continue, but it needs to be well explained why it wasn't finished, and in what benefits does it bring to continue the testing, of course, in phase 3. And I also wanted to clarify once more, because yes, I was wrong here for a moment, because I said that the market phase lasts for 3 months. No, it doesn't. It lasts for 6 months. In my head, I switched it. So design phase 3 months, development phase 8 months, and market phase 6 months. These are the correct information.
Okay. I don't know if there is when calculate. Okay, we have one more question. When calculating personnel costs, are they actual cost or market rate costs? As the guide is not clear, costs of the personnel, and they call the guide.
Mm-hmm. So and I would also ask you to download the latest version of our guide for applicants, because here we have also defined the costs in more detail, so that you can then take a look at what is eligible, and how the personnel costs are defined. So here it says, it's according to the rules and regulations of your country and real labor market data regarding the relevant positions. So when you calculate the personnel costs, you take into account, of course, it depends on each country, but real labor market data you take into account regarding the relevant positions. So this is what you would take a look at when defining the costs of the personnel who will be realizing the work.
I'm not sure if there are any other questions. As far as I can see, this was the last one, but we still have some time. Eric mentioned something about the TRL. I don't know.
Yes, I think the comment from Eric actually responds to the question if it's possible to continue testing in phase 3. So from our point of view, of course, we're looking to mature solutions. We would, of course, be expecting, this is why we expect that the bulk of the work, the most of the work is done, and then the solution goes to market. So his, I mean, I'm interpreting what he meant, but I think that his hypothesis here is that the TRL would then be too low. So if you're only testing still after the many months of development, then most probably the technology readiness level is too low, and we're looking for higher TRL level solutions that can contribute to the network.
Thank you, Dragana. Okay. And Eric. I'm not sure if there are any last questions that participants would like to share with us. I think it's been a very, very interesting session. We had a lot of questions today. We will make sure to give you access to the recording of today's webinar. We will post it in our YouTube channel, and of course, we will get an email with us to notify you, so you will have first access. We will make sure to share the presentation as well for any things you might find helpful in there. I don't know if you want to say any last word and a few words to wish good luck to the participants, maybe?
Yes. Of course, I would like to thank you all for your attention, and I hope that you're interested and that we will be receiving some interesting project proposals. And of course, I wish you all the luck in this open call, and we are here to support you and to answer any additional questions you might have. So feel free to contact us. And thanks again. And I can only wish a lovely reminder of the day to you all.
Thank you, Dragana. So good luck to all of you from me as well. We hope you will have the time to work on your proposals, and we would really like to receive your ideas. If you need anything, just reach out to us through the various channels that we have, through email or our social media. We will make sure to answer your questions. So have a lovely afternoon, and thank you all for joining today. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.